Growing up with a deep appreciation for flowers, which were all around our home, inside and out, I have wonderful memories associated with specific flowers. Pansies hold perhaps some of my best memories. I have a picture from one Easter of my mother and my brother and I in front of my pop-pop's pansy bed. Pansies always seem to bring a smile to my face. According to the Farmers Almanac, pansies symbolize thoughtfulness and remembrance. Others believe that pansies promote connection with God and that they can provide help for those seeking guidance and clarity in their lives. To me, pansies always look like little faces. The word pansy is from the French word for thought, or to think, or ponder. They have come to represent for many dreaming and humility, among other concepts. It is a tradition that you give pansies to those who are dearest to your heart. Because of all these memories and meanings, I felt that pansies were a good choice for us to highlight today, especially in honor of all of our graduates. But also we remember the gift of Jesus' earthly ministry, his presence here on earth among us as one of us, right, in human flesh. So when you bring these two things together, the Graduate Recognition Sunday and Ascension Sunday, today is a day to celebrate accomplishments and transitions in what lies ahead. It is time to give thanks for the past and to turn our attention to what we need to do in the present in order to begin the work for future accomplishments. We are stepping up to celebrate and move forward. I thought about this phrase, stepping up, because when I worked with the Board of Childcare, which is now called Everstand, we had a celebration of all of our students moving from one grade to another, one level to another, and we called it a stepping up ceremony. I loved, when I was a board member, to attend the graduation and the celebrations, and also when I was on staff. And so for many years, I looked forward to celebrating. Youth in foster care graduate from high school at a much lower rate than youth in general. And so for our youth who were facing so many challenges, it was a tremendous accomplishment for them to finish high school. As I said, the one ceremony looked not only at those graduating, but also those finishing one level and moving to a next. And we called it a stepping up ceremony. Our graduates in our church family are stepping up. They can take pride in what they have accomplished, but it's also a time to set our sights on new goals. I think in a similar way, the ascension of Jesus calls on us to step up. The ascension of Jesus and his return to heaven ushers in a new task for his followers. Think about the first disciples. They were so used to having Jesus there with them in person. He taught them, he gave them an example for how to live their lives, but they would no longer have him with them physically. They would have to learn to rely on the power and the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Jesus promises them that God will send the Holy Spirit to them, but they have to wait for it. It's always a tricky part, isn't it? The waiting. Jesus tells them to wait and to stay together. And when the Spirit comes, they will then have the power that they will need to fulfill their mission. And then Jesus blesses them. As he blessed them, he left them and was taken up into heaven. So the focus now shifts away from Jesus being physically present, his bodily ministry. And instead, the focus is now on the disciples. How will they continue the ministry of Jesus? They are now called to take up his mission with the power that God will send them. This moves the followers of Jesus forward according to God's design and God's desire. In the book of Acts, the account of Jesus' ascension includes their immediate reaction. As soon as Jesus leaves them and ascends into heaven, the disciples stand around looking up at the sky. I really can't blame them, can you? That would have been quite a sight to see, number one. But second of all, they had just gotten him back, right? Through the resurrection, and now he's leaving them again. It must have felt like the end to them. Jesus is gone this time for real. It must have been so difficult for them to accept this life-transforming transition. And I wonder if they felt the weight shift to them, that God's mission on earth is now to be carried out by them. I know that some of you are familiar with Mr. Rogers, who was also an ordained Presbyterian minister. He has a lot of wisdom for us. And I would offer this word from him to our graduates, to our whole congregation as we face our future as the church, and also for any of us who may need a little extra wisdom and encouragement when facing our own times of change. Here's what he wrote. Often, when you think you're at the end of something, you are at the beginning of something else. Right? Sometimes it feels like an end, but in that end is a new beginning. That's our story as Easter people. It seems like the end, but it's not. God always has something new waiting for us. So we, my friends, are at the beginning of something else, and we rejoice. We wait. We give thanks.